What's up everybody, Circus here with another top 10 video, but this time it's going to be a personal top 10 list. A lot of times when I'm streaming, people ask me what my favorite archetypes are, and of course as soon as someone asks me, I can't think of a single one. So I sat down and made a list of my top 10 favorite archetypes. Let's get started. Number 10. Digital Bugs. Now I know I've had my differences with this deck in the past. There's even a trash deck in here called Digital Bugs. But once I found a version of the deck I liked, I found it to be quite fun. I like playing it as a control deck, and I would try to rob my opponent of the resources with the rank 3.
We can suck this up.
I really like the artwork and how it has a cool blue tone and computer feel to it. The thing I liked most about it was being able to overlay higher rank cards over lower rank cards to climb the rank ladder. We had a lot of fun with this deck on stream, and hopefully the secret Digital Bugs Discord can find a place for me in their hearts. Number 9. Ultra Athletes. I was drawn to this archetype again because of the artwork. I like the clean and modern feel of the cards. I like how the cards tag out, like you're substituting them from the bench. It's just too bad this deck never really caught on. It's just too hard to get the deck started. This deck could have been the first Let's All Laugh at Circus video. I originally spent $200 on the box and couldn't get 3 midfielder. I still like the playstyle, and maybe someday it will get the support it needs. Number 8. Kristrons. This deck is probably the more hated decks on the list just because it was so unfun to play against. However, playing the deck could be really fun, especially if you could pull off the combos without misplaying.
Even though we're going to defense this turn, even if they try to push on their turn, it doesn't really matter because we'll just destroy his in.
And once you got that first win with the big brain combo, you feel like king of the world. Now don't get me wrong, if there was a top 100 Crystron players list, I would have been number 10,000 on a good day. But I always enjoyed playing the deck. It always made me feel like I had a chance to win every turn. I'm sure most of you are glad to see it go, but I'm glad that there's still people trying to keep the deck alive. Number 7. Triamids. This deck is fun because at first it seems like a straightforward control deck, but the more you play it, you realize there's some big brain plays to be made. Even one misstep can cost you the game. I like that it's a very low cost option. Back when I played it, it was all in one box. And of course the artwork is top notch. The monster cards are so crisp and clean looking. Definitely one of my favorites to play. Number 6. Sylvans. I can already hear people molding in the comments, but I loved playing this deck. It was absolutely ridiculous. The way each turn felt like you were gambling to win was so much fun. And before Grit got nerfed, that also felt like gambling because it could proc multiple times on one turn. I understand how disgusting this deck was after a while, but the excavating mechanic was just too fun and I loved it. This deck absolutely ruined a KC Cup for some people, but for me that KC Cup was a blast. Near the end I lost 11 straight and then won 17 straight. Number 5. Vampires. I liked Vampires before they got Grace and Familiar added to the deck. I thought the card art was cool and I was hoping they'd get some support in the future. I never imagined that they would become a top tier deck. I think this is the first deck I played that had so many options and paths to victory. It showed me the potential of future Yu-Gi-Oh decks. Again, it's another deck that received a lot of hate, but it's so much fun to play. Number 4. Yusenjus. This is still one of my favorite decks. Rai turned me onto the deck after it first came out. I love how it frustrates your opponents, how you can control the board with only 1 or 2 cards on the field, how you just sit there and poke at their life points and there's nothing they can do about it. And back in the day, using Shadow Game and Lava Golem as a win con, forget about it. So degenerate. Recently on stream we were using Destiny Draw Utopia Ray win strategy. That was so much fun because no one was expecting it. I still play this one on the ladder. Number 3. Ninjas. This was one of my favorites because it was the first deck I'd cogged with. You might think, well yeah, that should have been easy. It was a top tier deck. And it was, but I was nowhere near even understanding how the game worked back then. Red Dragon Ninja could miss the timing, and I had no idea what that was or what it meant. But the effect of Black Dragon Ninja was so broken at the time. It was another mechanic that gave me a glimpse into what Yu-Gi-Oh could be. Now this deck was probably the luckiest I've ever gotten building a deck. I got 3 of the UR Trap for less than 4,000 gems. I've never had that much luck since in opening packs. Number 2. Naturias. Yep, that's right, Naturias. The reason this deck is number 2 is because this is the deck I used to start streaming with. 3 years ago or so, I opened a new account and taught my son how to play Naturias on stream. Our deck looks something like this, I think. It was all from the one box. It actually helped me get a decent following at the time because there was a sizable Naturia following among the free-to-play crowd. I always thought the cards were cute and colorful, and it was a fun little beatdown deck for our time. I would love to see future support for Naturias, although many TCG players say, trust me, you don't. Honorable mention. Gravekeepers. Now this deck could have been any number on the list, really. I remember the first time I saw Von Man X play this deck on his channel and special summon a monster from the grave using Gravekeeper Chief's effect. I thought the deck was broken, and it kind of was for the time. Again, the card art is amazing. I think my favorite one is Gravekeeper Oracle. I think this is the first archetype deck that I ever built. I remember spending hours and hours trying to farm the cards from Ishizu and Odeon and not getting anything. Running out of gate keys, can you imagine? A time when in-game items actually had use? I wasn't a big fan of the later Gravekeeper support. I guess that the novelty wore off, or maybe the new stuff wasn't the real Gravekeepers. Number 1. Golden Flying Fish. This will always be my favorite deck just because I won a tournament with it. It was a 96-player tournament, and at the time that was considered a large tournament. I had been playing the deck a lot on the ladder and was having success, so I decided to use it in the tournament. When I submitted the deck list, the tournament organizer asked me if I was serious. It was during the Red Eye Zombie meta, and this deck seemed like a meme. But it turns out this deck was a direct counter. I faced Red Eye Zombies 7 times that day and won each time, including a 2-0 in the finals. Being able to pop cards and revive them and pop them again was broken. And don't even get me started on all the oyster cheese plays that were possible. The deck was probably one of the better low-cost decks for a time. But like most decks, it followed the meta pretty quickly. But to this day, I still have my 3 prismatic hammer sharks to remind me of that day.
Oh, can't celebrate yet. Fuck yeah! Oh my god, you guys.
We did it!
We did it, you guys!
So there it is, my personal top 10 favorite archetypes in Duel Links. Let me know in the comments what your favorite archetypes are, and I hope that you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.